each expression. So we're talking about exponents. And before we get into the notes, let's review real quick what an exponent is. So if I have a number like 3 to the 4th, okay, what is the 3? It's the base, okay? It's the base. What is the 4? The exponent. What's another word for exponent? Power. So if I were to ask you to read this to me, what would you say? 3 to the 4th power. We don't say base 3 to the 4th exponent, do we? No. 3 to the 4th power. Now what does that mean, 3 to the 4th power? 4 threes. And what operation always occurs? Multiplication. Very good. So we're going to end up multiplying. We're going to multiply 3 by itself how many times? 4 times. Good. So today's really easy. Like I said, today's day 1. So we're starting our foundation for this whole chapter. So if you notice what the top part, part 1 says, it says expand each expression. So let's talk about part 1 right now. We'll have 2 examples. Part 1, expand each expression. You already have this written in your notes. We have 2 examples. The first example says 2 to the 5th power. And the second example says x to the 6th power. Okay. Abby, 2 to the 5th power. What would you write?
2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2.
Very good. So you have 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. Which would be, yep, you have a blank for each of those 2's. Page 3, sorry. I said page 4 multiple times. It's page 4 in my notes, but page 3 in yours. Okay, so you write 2 out 5 times, because it's 2 to the 5th power. How would we do the second example? X, right? All we do is write x's out. And how many x's are we going to write out? 6. So I'd have x times x times x times x times x times x. Is it always multiplication when referring to exponents? Yes. It's always exponents. Alright, it's always multiplication. Real quick, what is 2 to the 5th power equal to? 32. Now, you could, in your calculator, put in 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, right? That sounds kind of boring, right? So grab the calculator at your desk, okay? If you don't have one, grab one nearby. I'm going to show you how you can do 2 to the 5th power in the calculator. So you have your calculator on. You go ahead and hit 2, okay? Now, if you notice where the replay button is, you look down, there's the x squared, which means I'm having the exponent of 2, right? And there's a caret, okay? Alright, hit that button. We call that the caret. That's what we called it to each kid, because that's what they usually think of. What it means is it means to raise to another power, okay? That's what that button means. So we're going to raise it to a power, and then you can hit 5. So that's 2 raised to the 5th power, hit equals, and you get what? 32. Did we not get that? Is that faster than hitting 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2? Yeah. Okay. Pull out your cell phones. Go to the calculator on your cell phone. Okay. Once you have your calculator open, you can turn your calculator to the side and expand your keypad, right? Yeah, if you have your phone on the lock system, it will not do it. Okay, so say you don't have these calculators at home, but you have your cell phone. Okay, so you have 2 Now, for mine, some of you guys might have the same button we had on our calculator, but if you have an iPhone, you're going to have this button right here. You look at the second row, it says second, x squared, x cubed, right?
Yeah.
And then there's one that says x to the y. Hit x to the y. And then put 5, and hit equal.
Oh, dang.
Hit two first. Hit two first.
So there, when you go home and you want to do your homework, you can use your cell phone. Does that make sense? So does anybody have an excuse why they can't? If you don't have either one, you might have to write it out in your head. Or if you have an iPad or a computer, the computer will also do it too. Okay, so our school computers will have it on there as well. Okay? Alright. So let's look at the next examples. Part 2. Part 2 says we want to simplify each of the following expressions. Now we have 2 bases, and we're multiplying them. So let me erase these notes, and we'll do part 2. You know what? I'm going to airplane the notes real quick, just because it'll be a lot faster in a sense. So I don't have to scroll. Since I don't have to rewrite every time. Huh? While we're getting this opened up, that's how about we work on 1 through 4 on our homework already. So just do 1 through 4. Just continue mind passing out a few of these to the back row. So as we are waiting, go ahead and do 1 through 4 of this. And now see if that, if you can handle 1 through 4, you can handle our first part of our examples. In our notes. Okay. Finish up the one you're on.
How many are there? So go ahead and keep the times. Another 4. That's
All right.
the first one.
You're going to be able to do this assignment without using a calculator today.
He's gonna do
You will.
this one. Go
And here's why I say that.
do another time.
Let's look at this first one in our example, please. So,
So go back.
turn back to your notes. Stop. I don't want you to do more work than you have to on your pink sheet. Okay? So go back to your notes real quick. Let's look at example 3. Because example 3 is like example number 1 on your homework, right? Okay? So example number 3 is like number 1 on your homework. I have 2 squared and I have 2 cubed. So the first part, I'm going to do this one in green, the 2 squared. If I expand 2 squared out, what do I get? 2 times 2. So 2 squared means 2 to the second power, right? What does 2 to the third power mean? What's another way of saying 2 to the third power? Think about it. 2 to the second power is called 2 squared, right?
2 cubed.
2 cubed. So 2 to the third power would be 2 cubed. So if I ever say cubed, that means it's to the which power? To the third. Okay? And then we don't use our terminology besides 2 to the fourth and stuff beyond that. So this, like you guys have already said, is 2 times 2 times 2. So in all, when I take 2 squared times 2 cubed, how many 2's do I have? 5. So I can write my answer as 2 to the 5th power.
Oh, that makes sense.
So I don't have to write out, what'd you say it was, 2, what is 2 to the 5th power? 32. Do I have to write the 32?
No.
No, it just says simplify, right? Is this simplified from our original?
Yes.
Why is this more simplified?
Because like you just combined the numbers, right?
Exactly. I only have one base then, right? Here I have 2 bases, now I only have 1 base. We can only combine them if what, though? The same base, thank you. It has to have the same base. So on the next one, I would have how many x's written out? 9. The first 5 represent this x to the 5th. And then the next 4 represent the second grouping of x to the 4th. So I have x to the 5th times x to the 4th, and you guys just said was x to the 9th. What is different about number 5 as opposed to number 4? Well, okay, the bases are different. What does the number 5 have that's different than number 4 besides a different variable? How many different bases did I have here? Did I? Are they different? It's x and x, right? This was 2 and 2. But down here I have a 3, and then I have a y and a y. Correct? So how many bases do I actually have here? 2. So I have the first one, 3 to the 4th, which I'll write out as what? Very good. 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. And then I have my y's. So my next group I'm going to do in blue. So I'll have y to the 3rd, which means I write how many y's? 3. Okay. And then the last one is y to the 5th. And how many y's are right there? 5. Okay. So my final answer is y to the 8th.
So just counting.
So on your homework today, I want you to actually write out all of those. Now, do you think we're going to have to do that every time? No. Real quick, what would be a shortcut for this? Just add the exponents. And you can only add the exponents if you what? Have the same base. What was the title of your notes? No, the very title. Multiplying with like bases, correct? So our title of my notes is multiplying with like bases. So right beside that, I want to write a little subnote. So multiplying with like bases. And our subnote is going to say exactly what you guys just told me, the shortcut. If the bases are the same, we what? We add the exponents.
Write that in your notes.
If the
Write
base,
that in your notes.
if the bases are the same, we add the exponents. Now, what did the bases have to be doing, though, in order for us to add them? For example, can I take x to the 4th plus x to the 3rd and get x to the 7th?
No, they have to be multiplied.
They have to be multiplying. Okay? So make note that the bases have to be multiplying. Does that make sense? Okay. Because when you write that out then, if it was a plus sign, you'd have x times x